Hello, hello. Happy Thursday to all of you folks. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy fifth day of the month of May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And you know that I come live every Thursday to talk about stress, to talk about burnout, and to talk about how we can effectively manage our stress in order to increase our energy, right? Better understand what gives us energy, what takes energy away, because stress is a critical factor in our experience of energy. And as stress is related to mental health, it's only pertinent that we continue the conversation today. I forgot to introduce myself. For those of you who are watching for the first time, I'm Caroline Milton. I'm the owner of Milton Coaching Collective. I am a former engineer turned stress management, burnout prevention advocate, consultant, coach. I believe that one of our key actions in increasing the retention of women in STEM is to be addressing stress collectively and individually. And so that is the focus of my presence here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, is to help you better understand how to engineer your own energy. So let's dive into today's topic. Today's topic is how to deal with stress. See, I think that this is a piece of the conversation that is missing, and you might be questioning that statement. But here's the thing. We're really good at talking about how to increase our tolerance to stress. We're really good at talking about how to address the things that are causing us stress. But we forget to talk about what to do once we have experienced stress. Now, if you have watched my videos in the past, you know I like to talk about the physiological effects of stress, because once we enter into a state of stress, it has an impact on virtually every other system of our body. And if you'd like more information on that, make sure that you click follow, click like, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching, because every Friday I release new content with my good friend Lennis Perez talking about these subjects. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about another important impact of stress on the human body. So again, make sure if you're not already following that you do so right now. So when we experience the stress event, other functions of our body are impacted. Our digestion slows down, our immune function changes in preparation for an attack on the body. And what then happens is we need to complete the stress cycle. And we need to complete the stress cycle. And oftentimes we're missing this step of the function. That's how we deal with stress, is by completing the stress cycle. So we experience a stressful event. Perhaps it is a true threat to your life. An animal runs out in the road, a deer runs out in the road ahead of you on your drive home. You're bracing for impact, fearing that your car is going to plow plow right into this deer at 60 miles an hour, and unsure of what would happen when that occurs. And then at the very last second, that deer changes direction and you miss the deer. Oh, what a relief. You're okay. But your body is still in that state of stress. It is still anticipating fear. It is still anticipating threat. You're still driving the car down the road. Another deer could come out ahead on the road. So you're still having all the physiological impacts of stress, even though that stressor is literally in the rearview mirror. So what do you do to ensure that you're completing the stress cycle? Well, I have several suggestions for you here. The first is physical exercise, anything that allows your body to breathe deeply from exertion, right? We would get this response when we would run away from a stressor in the plains and the Saharas and any form of nature. When a threat attacked us, we would run away. We would get that heart racing. We would get that blood pumping. We would get those deep breaths. And when we would overcome that stressor, then our body would celebrate. It would relieve itself of all of those hormones and physiological impacts. So you can do the same thing. You can complete your own stress cycle by physical exercise. So if you're saying, Caroline, I do not enjoy physical exercise, it feels like such a pain and burden, don't worry, I have 5 other suggestions for you. But here's what you can do as well. If you're not a big fan of physical exercise, the type of exercise that gets your heart thumping, then you can lay down and you can progressively clench each muscle group in your body. So start at your toes, work your way all the way up to your forehead, clench tightly each muscle group for 20 seconds. Feel the sensation of your stress in that muscle group. Envision yourself responding to that stress, running away, fighting back, and then release it. Feel that stress dissipating. Move all the way up your body, addressing each muscle group. Number 2, positive social connection. Now, this is key. Community is key. We know that for longevity, wellness. We know that that communities and people who live in community have demonstrated a higher quality of life. We researched the blue regions along the Mediterranean and other areas of the world. And one thing that we find to be true about these communities is that they have strong community. They have a lot of positive social connection. And so if you're experiencing stress, it is imperative for you to have positive social connection. Now, I had a near miss with a deer last week. And what I noticed immediately following was I wanted to talk to someone I loved. I called my mom immediately because I knew my husband was on an airplane. I called my mom. I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to hear her voice. I wanted that positive social connection because I had just escaped death, right? I had just escaped a threat and I needed someone to see me, know me, love me, care for me. It does not have to be someone with which you have a deep emotional connection. It can be a positive social interaction with the barista at your local coffee shop, but seek that out. Number 3 is demonstrations of affection. That this is consensual affection. This is reciprocated affection. This can be a 6-second kiss. This can be a 20-second hug. This can be a 6-minute snuggle. This can be petting your cat for 20 seconds or taking your dog for a walk and getting some of that love and affection from a pet, from a friend, from a loved one. Affection reminds us we're safe, right? We're here, we're safe. We've made it through the stressor. It calms down that stress response and completes the stress cycle. Number 4 is creative expression. And this can be done through art. This can be done through music. This can be done through dance, whatever form of creative expression that you need. You don't have to be good at it, but just giving yourself time for some creative expression. It can be through makeup or clothing, but allow yourself to really lean into that creative side of yourself. Everyone has a creative side. We all express it differently, but that will allow you to complete that stress cycle, because you know what you don't do when you're being threatened? You don't create, right? You're not expressing yourself. In fact, that part of your brain is turned off in the face of a stressor. So by taking yourself through creative expression, you are completing the stress cycle. Number 5 on the list is laughter. These are deep belly laughs. This is an excellent form of completing the stress cycle. You do not have to be around anyone else to do this. You can put on a blooper reel of your favorite TV show. You can watch a stand-up comic. You can read a funny book, but laughter allows you to complete the stress cycle. Again, because some people might laugh in the face of danger, right? We hear that line used often, but laughter reminds you that you're safe and you're okay. The last one, giving it a big old cry. Now, this one is one that we feel guilty about doing. We feel like we're weak emotionally, but truthfully, sometimes in the face of a stressful event, we need to let it out. We need to let that emotion go, to process that emotion fully, to allow ourselves to cry. If crying is something that feels very foreign to you or feels very uncomfortable to you, give yourself some privacy to experience this. And know that crying is a human reaction to stress. It is not a female reaction to stress. It is not a male reaction to stress. It is a human reaction to stress, and therefore can be an excellent form of closing that stress cycle. So in review, those 6 ways of completing the stress cycle are physical exercise, positive social connection, affection, creative expression, laughter, and crying. Which of these really stands out or appeals to you most? I want to know in the comments below. Which might you be trying this upcoming week as you deal with day in and day out stressors in your life and in your work? I want to hear that as well. Again, if you haven't already, make sure that you click like, follow, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching, so that you can stay up to date every time I go live, because I do it every Thursday, as well as all of my other content regarding stress management, burnout prevention, and talent retention. Thanks for being here this week. I'm Caroline Milton, and until next week, be well.